What is up, all? YouTube, everyone. Your boy, High Definition Television. As promised. I actually stole my opening line tonight from a channel that hasn't posted anything in fucking forever. JGC Sound, I think was his name. He used to always start his videos with, "What is up, all?" Let's see if I can get it back going. We're doing a response to the Sabbatharium Hour, brought to you by Heavy Metallurgy. Their last video that they did with guest host Aaron, the Metal Theologian. And they talked about cosmic doom. Really broadly used umbrella term, I think, in the context of that video. There was a lot more than just doom shown. So as they were going, as I was watching the stream, excellent stream, by the way, I just kept pulling records that they weren't pulling or talking about, and I was like, why? And then I was like, well, that's my job. So here we are. I have tried putting these in several different orders, and ended up on like kind of chronological, I guess, probably ish. We're gonna get started. Aaron showed a bunch of cool shit from the 70s. He started with the Flower Traveling Band, unrelated. But he also showed Guru Guru, and I believe a Cosmic Jokers record. Cosmic Jokers were at least mentioned, along with Asherah Temple. This is an Asherah Temple record. Really only a name at this point. It's just Manuel Gotching. He was a constant fixture amongst Asherah Temple alum, as well as the Cosmic Jokers. In fact, he has an album under the Cosmic Jokers moniker, Innovations for Guitar, I believe, or something along those lines. I talked about it. It's a rad record, super good. This is New Age of Earth, and look at that cosmic cover art. It's actually very terrestrial. I mean, we're looking at skyline on Earth. That's clearly an Aztecan pyramid. At least that's what I would call it. This is a record that was released in, I want to say, 74, 75, maybe 76. Can we find a date in here? I might be wrong. 76, June, my birth month and year. Gatefold. And Manuel is, he's looking pretty hammy in these photos. He really got to fuck around on this album. What did he play on here? I want to... Keyboard, synthesizer, Gibson guitar, strictly Gibson guitar. I was hoping it would actually list the keyboards and the synths. This was released on, I love this fucking label. Let's see. The Isadora label. I don't know if you can see that. Just rad. And you get some very new agey latter era krautrock here. One of the things that really elevates this record, though, aside from the fact that it's just supremely composed and executed by Manuel, or Manuel. I don't know, he's German, right? So is it Manuel or is it Manuel? I've always said Manuel because when I see Manuel, that's how I say it in my brain. It's supremely composed and also expertly played. His guitar, though, is like just this sinewy string of riffs and strumming and chords and progressions. Very easy to get lost in it, and it gets to points where it's just he's wailing, dude. Like, oh my god, some of the solos on here rival anything of its era. Even into the 80s, you'll hear, like space rock that's indebted to his guitar playing style, and desert rock, also indebted to his playing style. This album's killer. Is it an essential piece of Ashraf Temple ephemera? For me, yeah. The first two and this are like the only ones that I need, in my opinion. It's rad. Now, following on the footsteps is like another band that I would kind of put under the krautrock umbrella. However, these guys were from France, as well as the UK, kind of like a mixed bag of members. Talking about Gong, specifically the Planet Gong project, which is not the same project as Gong, even though the ranks are filled with the same members for the most part, at least specifically David Allen, or Davy Allen, David L. Alien, and Gilly Smith. Planet Gong, Live Floating Anarchy, 1977. What do we have here? This probably fits the bill as a precursor to like stoner and desert rock, more than that Ashraf Temple. This is also a little bit proto-punk, which is funny to say considering if you go back and look at the preceding Gong records. This is a rad record, and it is, I don't know, I feel I get cosmic vibes for sure. Like, I get space rock vibes, absolutely. Very much in that Hawkwind vein. Subversive, 70s subversive shit. It's really good. Anyway, this is on the Charlie label. And that's what that looks like. Great guitar lines, cool jams. It's a very jammy record. Much more than like the first two Gong records, which are amazing as well. But this, I feel like, fit the bill a lot more. Check it out. Live Floating Anarchy, 1977. Rad record. Okay. Now this, we're getting way spacier with this shit, and probably my favorite record by this project. And these guys have a lot of really good fucking records. You're probably like, why have you not shown a Hawkwind record yet? Calm down. Another krautrock record, in my opinion. Eloy, with Silent Cries and Mighty Echoes on the Harvest label. There's that. This is a gatefold with lyrics. And just look at that. Cover art. Boom. If you don't get cosmic vibes from that, I don't know what to tell you. This is a psychedelic masterpiece of proto-heavy rock and space rock. And again, desert rock. Very much, if you listen to some of like the slower, more epic Caius tracks, you can definitely get an Eloy vibe, at least this particular record. They did, they had, Eloy's got a lot of fucking records. This is maybe the fourth or fifth one, I think. It's either record number 4 or number 5. They're a little like proggier earlier on, like more like a harder edged. I'm not gonna say a harder edged Genesis, but like, if you like Atomic Rooster, you're gonna dig that early Eloy shit. It sounds less like Noi or fucking Can, and a bit more that like, some of the crazier, more atmospheric cinematic and Spacier, Pink Floyd. That was coming out around the same time. This was 76 as well, I think. No, 78 on this one. And just essential in terms of krautrock, space rock, prog rock, psych rock, heavy rock. It's rad. Now, we're getting into a bit more modern shit here. And I have not mentioned Hawkwind yet. This is actually the first Hawkwind record I ever heard. Way back when. I got this originally on cassette from Columbia House, if I remember correctly. I did not like it. I was not ready for Hawkwind when I got that cassette. I was also not ready for Hawkwind of this era. This record, just so you know what era we're speaking of, 88, I think, on this one. Yeah, 1988, Enigma Records. Talking about the Xenon Codex by Hawkwind. First of all, killer artwork. Always. There's the back. And it's like a scene out of Blade Runner. You've got the car, the flying car, the huge skyline in the background, the illuminated billboard there in the behind the car, but kind of the foreground. Dr. Has-Been, David Brock, fucking Harvey Bainbridge, of course, long-standing member. Alan Davies on this record. This is rad. GWR release, which was like, a metal label. Hawkwind, this is not a metal record. However, The War I Survived, that's the first track. That'll sell you on the record right there. Wastelands of Sleep, Neon Skyline, Heads, Mutation Zone, Good Evening. This is just a killer sci-fi trek. Yeah, it sounds a little dated, especially considering that it came out in '88. They were really trying to kind of clutch that late '70s, early '80s era, which I also really like. Think Levitation. Definitely channeling that here. It's a little harder on this one. Definitely a precursor to desert rock. It's space rock through and through. And a great lineup. This record's awesome. Xenon Codex, Hawkwind, excuse me. And now we're getting into the 90s. This is a reissue. Now, I don't know what year this originally came out because the record doesn't say, I don't think. However, it's a gatefold, and I haven't looked in the gatefold. Again, didn't do my homework. Probably shoulda. Oh, well. Nope, there's no date there. Okay, anyway. This is either the second or third record by this band. Nebula. Atomic Ritual. Fuck, man. Look at that cover artwork. This is what it sounds like. I know they all kind of talked a little bit about the first Nebula, very briefly. There's the gate. This was re-released by Heavy Psych Sounds. This record is just killer. I like this more than the debut. The debut still sounds kind of like that pre-Fu Manchu sort of rockin', fun, just big amps in the desert sort of sound, whereas this gets way spacier in my opinion. It still retains a lot of those attributes from the first album, but this is, again, it's just a way spacier. It's a heavier album in my opinion. It's less Fu Manchu and more its own thing. It's rad. Absolutely essential if you are interested in this shit. This is an album that Originally, its conception predates all of these. So we'll just get that out of the way. Album itself was released in 2019. It was recorded live in 2014. And what I'm talking about here, I love this fucking record. This thing's, I'm going to say, this is controversial maybe. I like this better than the original version. I love the original version. Don't get it twisted. This is Alan Davies' Psychedelic Warlords. First of all, you couldn't ask for a more cosmic cover. And what this is Hall of the Mountain Grill performed live in its entirety in 2014 in London. Autographed by, I don't know if you can see it. Autographed by Alan Davey. No, you can't see it. I don't know anybody else on this record. Alan Davey. I just suspect everybody else playing with him are people that have just played with Alan Davey over the years. There's the back. There are some tracks on here that are not on Hall of the Mountain Grill, including a cover of the song Motorhead by Motorhead. And it rivals the original. It's maybe because it's recorded live, and just because of the weight of everything involved in the production. It sounds heavier and more psychedelic than the Motorhead version of the song Motorhead. This thing is just heavy and raw. And Hall of the Mountain Grill was already kind of a heavy, raw record to begin with. But, you know, being recorded originally in, 74? Somewhere between 72 and 74 for Hall of the Mountain Grill. And, the benefit of this having come out once we, really kind of honed in on what to do with effects pedals and distortion. Crushing in sound. Not this is not crushing like a Deicide record is crushing, or even say a Sleep record is crushing. It's just has that visceral just heft to everything, and it is spaced out, stony fucking shit, and it rules. All right, now this record, I guarantee you that none of you all have heard this shit, and if you have, then I'm a dick. But this is, maybe if you've heard this band, it was with a split they did with Acherontis, the Greek black metal band. This is Akrabu, Hammer of the Moon, a 10-inch record. This was released Path of Amenta Records and Aeon Sophia Press. Aeon Sophia Press is they're a publishing press, and they publish primarily very lavish, fancy, occult literature. This is spaced out, acoustic, neofolk, which honestly, if you listen, I would consider to be somewhat adjacent to the topic at hand. It is a crawling, at times lilting, foray into neofolk. There's spacey elements all over the place. Hammer of the Moon, the title track. Psychonaut Gravity. Even Mountains of the Descent, Gnosis of Illumination. It's 4 tracks on this 10-inch. Really, really fucking good shit. But, here's the but. If you don't like neofolk, you probably won't like it. But you know what? Open yourself up. Try it. You might dig it. Akrabu. Who knows if I said that right? Okay, we got a few more. This, I want to say 2020 on this one, and this one 2015. Okay, so we'll go with this one because it's probably around the same time as that Packer booth. This is a Brazilian band, Necro, shortened the name from Necronomicon, I believe. This is their album Adiante, and look at that cover. Come on. Spaceship on a mushroom planet. Travelers down here. Some sort of oracle. This album is awesome. It's so good. Psychedelic, heavy rock out of Brazil. Shares a lot in common with like Los Natos, if you're familiar with them. But it's also like a lot more psychedelic than droney and heavy. This is not like a crushing record. There are definitely heavy moments in the psychedelia present here. It's a jammy record. It's like fucking strawberry preserve. Jesus, that's I'm gonna keep that in here, but that's terrible. But it is a jammy record. Not like Fish or Blues Traveler jammy or fucking even the goddamn Grateful Dead jammy, but like stonery. We just ingested a whole lot of weed and alcohol, and we have really big amps and vintage gear, and that's kind of the vibe here. It's so rad. That again was Necro Adiante. Sick. Here is another project from south of our border, being the United States. This from Mexico, and it is Parasito with their album Singularity from 2020. This is a fucking modern krautrock record. Like, have you heard Moon Duo? Have you heard their Occult 1 and 2 records? This is kind of in that vibe. Just long motoric guitars, quick drums, stony atmosphere and vibes on this one. And, cosmic? Does it get more cosmic than an exploding black hole and a fucking astronaut being pulled into it? Yeah, that's totally what that is. He's being spaghettified, as per Neil deGrasse Tyson. God, the cover art is just so fucking good. And I'm pretty sure, I meant to look this up. I don't look anything up really anymore. I used to research the shit out of this stuff. And you know what I learned? I didn't get any more engagement when I researched shit than I did when I didn't. So, here we are. But I'm pretty sure that the cover art here is done by one of my favorite comic book artists, who I may actually, I don't know, if y'all are into like talking about comics and shit, I might talk about a couple of my favorite artists. He's one of them. Anyway, it's a killer record. If you like Neu or Dusseldorf, or like anything Michael Rother had his hand in, you'll probably like it. It's rad. Now, this is, when did this come out? 2020 as well. 2020? Jesus Christ. I don't think that's true. Where did I even see that? Now I'm questioning my own. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Here, let me take it out of the shrink, but you probably already saw it. William Parker with Mayan Space Station. Uh, you astute viewers who are familiar with William Parker will be like, wait a minute, that we're talking about Doom. William Parker is a jazz bassist. Yes, that's correct. This is a fucking jazz record with an electric guitar. And I'll take this over Bitches Brew, to be fair. To be honest. Not to be fair, to be honest. People, what are you talking about? That's crazy. But it's true. You got William Parker on bass. And I was, oh God, how did I become familiar with William Parker? I'm not old head to jazz, so like a lot of this stuff is new. He has been involved in the jazz movement for a very long time. I know he's worked with, I think he's worked with Peter or Casper Brotzman, maybe both. Lots of people. Anyway, on here we've got him on bass, and you can tell it's William Parker on fucking bass. Like it's pretty distinctive. Ava Mendoza on electric guitar and Gerald Cleaver on drums, and there they are. Now, why did I put this in here? The guitar, man. Ava is channeling Manuel Gotching. She is channeling the long fucking solos in some of the more jammy, there's that word again, Hawkwind stuff. Like if you go back and listen to like the live shit, oh man, she's influenced by a lot of heavy rock guitarists, and it's just like this vibe, this like almost like transcendent state of flow in terms of the riffs that she's strumming, the chords that she's choosing, the way she solos is just killer. Fucking take a nice little gummy, let it kick in, throw this on. Oh, you're gonna be happy. 4 tracks on here: Tabasco, Mayan Space Station, Domingo, Canyons of Light. The high points are obviously the long tracks. That's going to be Mayan Space Station, Canyons of Light. Domingo is great, Tabasco is great, but it's definitely an opener. There's nothing not to like, and this absolutely belongs in this list. I've got 2 more to mention. These are synth records, but I think that they are adjacent enough that y'all can appreciate it. And they both came out, I want to say, in 2024. And we have Beyond Darkness and Time by Zard. And this was released by SFI Recordings. There's the case, and there's the cassette. And this project started off as more of a dungeon synth type project. And he began expanding his repertoire to include a lot of spacier sounds. This could be a sci-fi soundtrack to some epic space opera that has never come out. There's even percussion on this thing. It is a masterpiece, in my opinion, and y'all need to check it out. And the other one is, come on, Phase Shifter, Music for Cosmic Connections. Again, another SFI Recordings release in a O card. And then we've got the cassette proper. Boom. This stuff is fucking, well, I was going to show you all the download code. New Age spacey goodness. Even mastered by Arthur Rizek. I mean, come on. There's the interior there. Phase shifter. And, you know, if you're about my age or maybe 10 years younger, you are probably old enough to remember when they would sell New Age CD compilations on television late at night. And if you ever bothered to listen to any of those, I did. Uh, that's what you get here. It's so good. And that's all I got. Oh, this is funny too. Well, not really funny, but like it just some. I liked that William Parker record so much that I bought this Jazz Times magazine with him on the cover. Really good interview with him in here. Um, I've read it. I've actually read it a few times, and yeah, that's all I have, guys and gals, viewers. Thanks for tuning in and coming back and for just sticking with me through the last 11 years now, working on 12. This guy. Don't be shitty, YouTube. Keep it real, and I will talk to you soon.